We are Graffiti Maps NYC, and we're going to talk about the maps we made, the data sets that we used, and some of the challenges we encountered while making these maps. So starting with the data, we went to New York City's site for open data looking for a set that could tell a story. We found requests to clean graffiti from the last 12 months, not including highways and bridges, along with the coordinates of the requests where the graffiti was, and the current status, whether they were open, meaning they hadn't been cleaned, or they were closed, they'd been taken care of, and actually a third subset, which is pending. And so the maps that we chose to make using this data. The first one that we worked on was a heat map with the total number of graffiti incidents. And basically we just, as you would in a heat map, we made it increasing intensity of color based on the number of incidents of graffiti in a given New York City community district. So as you can see up here, Astoria has more incidents than Long Island City, which is right below it, right directly south. Another map that we were working on was using point density maps to show subsets of closed incidents and open incidents. And a third layer, or actually it was a layer unto itself, not a map, another layer that we were working on was a point density map that showed the coordinates of images of graffiti that we had scraped from Instagram from February 2011. We thought at the time that the graffiti locations data we were working with covered 2011 to 2012, so that's why we chose February 2011. So a little bit about this layer, which was really interesting. We had a team of 3 designers, 1 technical services law librarian, 1 art historian, and a postdoc fellow in social media who were developing this layer, and that would have provided a lens into how the general public interacted with the graffiti of New York City. And what they did was they scraped a small segment of data from Instagram via the publicly available API. And that API is available at instagram.com/developer/. And to keep this process in context, Instagram passed the 80 million user mark in July. So the subset that we were looking at of total Instagram images was really small. The number of images that we came across was that there were just over 14,000 images geotagged as having been taken in New York City and were uploaded to Instagram during February 2011. Of that set, the team of 3 developers used SQL to separate out the photos that were either tagged or captioned by Instagram users as graffiti, as well as possible misspellings for the word and another phrase, aerosol art. This brought the count down considerably to 67 photos. So the challenges in our process. We'd set up all 4 maps and realized on day 2 of the hackathon that the open and closed incidents maps were actually charting the total number of incidents. What you're looking at here are actually the fixed maps, but like we said, the problem we were having is that we were charting the total number of incidents on these point density maps. And the problem ended up being that the table the SQL filter was referring to only included the total number of incidents rather than the open and closed figures. We needed to refer to the original data set, which differentiated between open and closed. When we tried to remedy the situation by copying the heat map table and customizing it to only include open and closed incidents, it didn't work. And we realized that the solution would require a lot more time that we didn't have, given that Hurricane Sandy was arriving this evening. However, at the last minute, one of our team members was able to fix this, and we ended up with the point density maps, not the point density maps for open and closed that you see here. Regarding the Instagram point density layer, the final step, had it not been for the hurricane, would have been to join this layer, which would have allowed us to show the intersectionality of open and closed incident reports and how that correlates to the median rent of a community. We were actually looking at some different statistics, partly on Zillow.com, and the social media reporting of the general public based on images uploaded, which, when clicked on, would have popped up in a flyaway window made possible through JavaScript. So that is our project, and we had a lot of fun working on it this weekend, and we hope you enjoyed our explanation of it. Thank you.